What if I told you that the secret to drinking isn't about how much you can handle, but how little you actually need? Picture this: a glass of wine sitting on a table. Is it half empty or half full? Well, what if the real power comes from knowing when that glass has given you everything it can? Today, we're going to explore something that might change how you think about alcohol forever. We're talking about the hidden science, the surprising history, and the life-changing art of drinking moderately. Section 1. The science behind the sip. Let's start with something that sounds almost too good to be true. Scientists have discovered what they call the J-shaped curve of drinking. Imagine drawing the letter J on a piece of paper. At the bottom of that curve, you have people who never drink. At the top, you have heavy drinkers. And right there in the sweet spot of the curve, that's where moderate drinkers live. Here's the fascinating part. People who have one or two drinks per day often live longer than people who don't drink at all. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. This only works up to a certain point. After that, the benefits disappear faster than ice cream on a hot summer day. There was a famous study published in 2018 that claimed moderate drinking could extend your life by 14 years. Sounds amazing, right? But when other scientists looked closer at how the study was done, they found some serious problems. It's like someone claiming they found a fountain of youth, but forgetting to mention it only works on Tuesdays during leap years. The truth is more complicated and more interesting. When you drink a small amount of alcohol, your body responds in very specific ways. Your blood vessels relax slightly, which can help your heart pump blood more easily. Your stress hormones decrease a little bit. Some of the protective chemicals in red wine, called antioxidants, can help protect your cells from damage. It's like giving your body a very gentle, very brief vacation from some of its daily stress. Your body treats alcohol like a very complicated guest at a dinner party. In small amounts, alcohol can help your heart by making your blood flow better. It's like giving your cardiovascular system a gentle massage. But too much, and suddenly that helpful guest becomes the person who won't leave and starts breaking your furniture. There's something else amazing happening in your brain when you drink moderately. Small amounts of alcohol can actually help protect your brain cells, like a tiny security guard for your thoughts. But here's the twist: this protection only works if you're under 55 years old. After that, your brain says, thanks, but I'll handle my own security from now on. And then there's the iron situation. You know how some people have too much iron in their blood? Well, a moderate amount of red wine can help with that. It's like having a very sophisticated filter for your bloodstream, because apparently even our blood needs a good wine pairing sometimes. But here's where it gets really interesting. There's a condition called hemochromatosis, where your body stores too much iron. For people with this condition, moderate red wine consumption can actually be part of their treatment. The compounds in red wine help regulate how much iron their body absorbs. It's like having a natural thermostat for your iron levels. However, alcohol also has a darker side that we can't ignore. Even moderate drinking slightly increases the risk of certain types of cancer, especially breast cancer in women. It's like having a medicine that helps your heart, but might not be great for other parts of your body. This is why the decision to drink moderately is so personal, and why it's important to talk to your doctor about what's right for you. But here's what really matters. Your body is unique. What works as moderate for your neighbor might be too much for you. About 40% of people with Asian heritage have a genetic difference that makes it harder for their bodies to process alcohol safely. It's like having a different type of engine that needs different fuel. This genetic difference affects an enzyme called ALDH2, which helps break down alcohol in your body. When this enzyme doesn't work properly, drinking even small amounts can cause flushing, nausea, and headaches. It's your body's way of saying, this isn't for me. And that's perfectly okay. Some people are built for moderate drinking, others aren't, and both are completely normal. There's also something called drunkorexia that we need to talk about. Some people skip meals to save calories for alcohol. This is like deciding to skip putting oil in your car so you can put in premium gas. It misses the entire point of taking care of yourself. Your body needs food and nutrients to process alcohol safely. Drinking on an empty stomach doesn't make you a more efficient drinker. It makes you a less healthy person. Section 2. The Art of Mindful Drinking. Now, let's talk about something that might sound simple but is actually quite revolutionary: the 20-minute sip rule. Imagine you're holding a glass of wine or beer. Instead of drinking it like it's water after a long run, you take tiny sips every few minutes. You notice the taste, the smell, the way it feels in your mouth. This isn't just about being fancy. It's about rewiring your brain to understand what enough actually feels like. Here's a trick that sounds almost silly until you try it. Use a wine glass for everything, even juice or water. Your brain sees that familiar shape and automatically slows down. It's like tricking yourself into good behavior, and honestly, who doesn't need a little help with that sometimes? Some people have started keeping what they call a flavor journal. They write down how their drink tastes, what they notice about it, how it makes them feel. It sounds nerdy, but it works because it turns drinking from an automatic habit into a conscious choice. There's even something called the Russian doll pour. You put a smaller cup inside a larger glass, so you think you're drinking more than you actually are. It's like optical illusion, but for your liver. Some people have started using technology to help with mindful drinking. They pair their drinking with heart rate monitors or fitness trackers. When their heart rate goes up from alcohol, they know it's time to slow down or stop. It's like having a personal coach for your cardiovascular system. There's something fascinating about how different cultures approach the social aspects of drinking. In some places, refusing a drink is considered rude. In others, drinking too much is the social mistake. Learning to navigate these expectations while staying true to your own limits is like learning a new social language. But the real magic happens when we talk about something called autopilot drinking. You know that feeling when you're at a bar or restaurant and somehow your glass keeps getting empty without you really noticing? That's not an accident. The lighting in bars is designed to make you drink faster. Dim lights make it harder to see how much you've had, and they also make you feel more relaxed, which can lead to drinking more. It's like being in a very sophisticated science experiment, except you're the test subject. Here's something interesting. People often feel slightly drunk when they drink non-alcoholic beer or wine, even though there's no alcohol in it. Your brain is so powerful that just the ritual and taste can create a feeling. It's like your mind saying, "Oh, we're doing the drinking thing? Let me help with that." This is called the placebo effect, and it shows us something important about drinking. A lot of what we think we get from alcohol, the relaxation, the social confidence, the sense of celebration, can actually come from the ritual itself. The fancy glass, the special occasion, the time set aside to enjoy something. These things have power even without alcohol. There's also something called the Hemingway effect, the idea that creative people need alcohol to do their best work. But modern research shows this is mostly a myth. Alcohol might make you feel more creative in the moment, but it actually makes your work less creative overall. It's like wearing sunglasses and thinking the world got darker. The change is in your perception, not reality. Time moves differently when you're drinking. One drink can make an evening feel longer and more enjoyable. But here's the thing. You don't need more drinks to get more time. You just need to be more present with the one drink you have. Alcohol affects something called your time perception. Small amounts can make time feel like it's moving more slowly, which can make experiences feel richer and more memorable. It's like alcohol gives you a different lens for experiencing the present moment. But too much alcohol, and you start losing time instead of gaining it. Entire evenings can disappear from your memory. This is why the concept of microdosing alcohol is becoming interesting to some researchers. Just like microdosing other substances, the idea is to use amounts so small you barely feel them, but that still provides some of the social and relaxation benefits. It's like using a whisper instead of a shout to get your point across. The goal isn't to become a person who never enjoys a drink. The goal is to become a person who gets the most joy possible from the smallest amount. It's like becoming a connoisseur of your own experience. Think about it this way. When you eat a really expensive piece of chocolate, you don't wolf it down. You let it melt on your tongue, you notice all the flavors, you make it last. The same principle applies to drinking. The more attention you pay, the more satisfaction you get, and the less you actually need. Some people worry that drinking mindfully will make it less fun. But the opposite is usually true. When you're really present with your drink, when you're tasting it and enjoying it instead of just consuming it, it becomes more enjoyable, not less. It's the difference between listening to music and really hearing it. Section 3. Cultural Wisdom and Modern Solutions. Let's take a trip through time and around the world because humans have been figuring out moderate drinking for thousands of years. In medieval times, monks didn't just make beer, they perfected the art of drinking just enough. They understood that beer was safer than water, but they also knew that too much would interfere with their prayers and work. So they created what might be the world's first systematic approach to moderate drinking. These monks had something called small beer, beer with very low alcohol content that they could drink throughout the day without getting drunk. It was like having a hydrating drink that also happened to be safer than the local water supply. They understood something we're just rediscovering, that alcohol can be part of a healthy life if you approach it with intention and wisdom. Sailors had their own system too, and the daily rum ration. Every sailor in the British Navy got a measured amount of rum each day. Not too much, not too little, but just enough to boost morale and provide some calories. It was probably one of the first government-regulated moderate drinking programs in history. And then there was prohibition in America. The government thought they could solve drinking problems by banning alcohol completely. Instead, they accidentally created cocktail culture. Because when people could only drink in secret, they had to make it count. So they learned to make drinks that were strong, flavorful, and worth the risk. Sometimes the best solutions come from the most unexpected places. Prohibition also taught us something important about human nature. Telling people they can't have something often makes them want it more. But giving people good information and trusting them to make their own choices, that tends to work much better. It's like the difference between being lectured and being educated. During Prohibition, people also started using alcohol as medicine more than ever before. Doctors could prescribe medicinal alcohol for various conditions. While most of these prescriptions weren't based on real medical need, it shows that people intuitively understood that alcohol in the right amounts could have therapeutic effects. In Japan, there's a beautiful concept called ipai, the art of the single perfect pour. It's not about having many drinks, it's about having one drink that's absolutely perfect. The right temperature, the right glass, the right moment. It's like meditation, but with sake. The Japanese approach to drinking is part of a larger philosophy about appreciating small, perfect moments. Instead of rushing through experiences, they slow down and really notice them. When you apply this to drinking, every sip becomes intentional. You're not just consuming alcohol, you're participating in a ritual of appreciation. Different cultures have different relationships with alcohol, but the ones that seem to have the healthiest relationships are the ones that integrate drinking into daily life in small social ways. Think about Mediterranean cultures where wine is part of family meals, or cultures where drinking is always paired with food and conversation. These approaches naturally limit consumption while maximizing the social and cultural benefits. Today, young people are creating what they call sober, curious weddings. Instead of open bars, they're serving memory elixirs, special non-alcoholic drinks that help people remember the celebration clearly. Because apparently, the best wedding photos are the ones in your mind. There are even hidden bars now that only serve non-alcoholic cocktails. They're called neo speakeasies, and they're just as exclusive and fancy as regular bars, except you leave feeling clear-headed and energetic. It's like having all the social fun with none of the next day regrets. Scientists are now working on something that sounds like science fiction. Drinks that adapt to your mood. Using sensors that read your emotional state, these future cocktails could automatically adjust their alcohol content. Happy and relaxed? Maybe you get less alcohol. Stressed and tense? The drink might have calming herbs instead. Here's something interesting about money and drinking. Expensive alcohol actually helps people drink less. When you pay $20 for a glass of whiskey instead of $5, you naturally slow down and savor it more. It's like your wallet is helping your health, which is a nice change of pace. The future of drinking isn't about drinking more or drinking less. It's about drinking smarter. Whether that's through apps that track your intake, glasses that change color when you've had enough, or even virtual reality experiences that give you the social benefits of a bar without any alcohol at all. The most powerful thing about all these approaches is that they recognize a simple truth. The best experiences come not from having more, but from being more present with what you have. Section 4. Personal power and practical steps. So how do you actually put this into practice in your real life? Start with something simple. The next time you have a drink, set a timer for 20 minutes. Don't finish your drink before the timer goes off. Notice what happens. Do you feel different? Do you taste more? Do you enjoy it more or less? If you're going to a party or dinner, decide before you go how many drinks you'll have. Tell someone you trust what that number is. It's like having a workout buddy, but for your liver. And honestly, your liver deserves a good friend. Learn to recognize your body's signals. that warm feeling, that slight relaxation. That might be all you need. Everything after that is just extra, and extra isn't always better. Practice saying, I'm good when someone offers you another drink. You don't need a long explanation or excuse. I'm good is a complete sentence. It means you've had enough, you're enjoying yourself, and you're taking care of yourself. Remember, this isn't about being perfect. Some nights you might have more than you planned. Some weeks you might not drink at all. The goal is to be intentional, not perfect. Intentional means you're making choices instead of just letting things happen to you. We've traveled from medieval monasteries to modern laboratories, from Japanese pour ceremonies to American speakeasies. And what have we learned? That the real power in drinking comes not from how much we can handle, but from how mindfully we can choose. So here's my question for you. What would change in your life if you approached drinking, or really any pleasure, with more intention and less autopilot? I'd love to hear about your experiences with mindful drinking. Share in the comments below. What's one small change you could make starting tonight? If this video made you think differently about the power of moderation, hit that subscribe button. Until then, remember, true power comes not from what you can consume, but from what you choose to savor.